Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, January 28th of 2024. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Our topic today is medicine of the feminine, and I'm very excited. Today we have, as you see here, Dr. Leonor Murciano-Luna with us, and she is a beautiful, incredible being who I've known for quite some time, and I'm really excited to have her here today because she's been doing some incredible work. She spent the last 30 years exploring the intersection of psychology, traditional healing medicines, and mystic traditions. She's got lots and lots of credentials under her belt. Her journey led her to the point where they all converged, right? And the missing piece, the lost teaching of the ancient feminine wisdom, was finally revealed. As an integrative doctor, spiritual healer and teacher, author, she's got 3 amazing books out at least. She's an artist, a medicine woman. Dr. Leonor Murciano-Luna is devoted to the resurrection of ancient feminine healing arts as medicine that is needed for our time. And she's got a beautiful gift that she's going to share with us today. Dr. Leonor, I used to call her doctor, but I love it. Dr. Leonor, I thank you for being here today. She's going to talk to us about the medicine of the feminine and the awakening the feminine within. And as the people who have been with me for a while know how I feel about the just how important it is right now for us to really activate the inner feminine, the true feminine, right? As women,
Right.
we've had to meet the world, the patriarchal, masculine dominant world from, a lot of times to survive in the masculine dominant world means we show up with our masculine energy and we operate from, we have to meet that part of the world. We operate from that. We lose that connection with the true conscious feminine. And right now, especially where we are in the evolution of our humanity, of our consciousness, and for our planet, if we really want to make it through this critical time that we're going through, it's really, it's time in the cycle of consciousness for the feminine
Exactly.
to really rise up, and the masculine has to go through that. In my perception, this is my perception speaking, it really is like going through a portal to unite and connect with source on the higher planes so that we can really live in unity consciousness, live in that era of peace that we're all in the process of transitioning into. So with that, Lenore, thank you very much for being here today. I'm very excited for what you have to offer, and I'm going to let you take it from here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, everything you said, ditto. Absolutely. It is really this shift in consciousness that you're speaking about. That is, the shift to return to the feminine, right? Because as you've, said before, we haven't always been here. It's time now, and it's time now for the shift. There is, even on an astrological level, and I know I'm kind of veering off for a minute, but even on an astrological level, Demetra George talks about these patterns. And so for thousands of years, we've kind of gone around, the cycles for the last 26,000 to, you kind of put a little bit more like 40,000 years. But now, we're in this time in the last 5,000 years of kind of like going into the deepest, darkest time, and into where the feminine is not, where the cycle of we regulate it. If we look at it from the cycle of the moon over those 40,000 years, there is a time period of 5,000 years that there is no light, right? And the light in this case is that light of the feminine, where people are disconnected. And it has been, proclaimed and said in so many different traditions, the Mayan traditions, all of the different spiritual traditions, that now is the time of the rise of the feminine that, started with, well, didn't really start with 2012, but that's when we came more into consciousness, right? I think it started with really the convergence of 1987. But anyway, we won't go there. That's a different podcast. But, it's really, it's in all of these different, different theories and spiritual paths and different wisdom traditions that have already proclaimed this time. And it is the consciousness shift that we're needing. It's the return to our source. It's the return to the essence. It's the return to the Great Mother. And it's really what I call in this conscious feminine medicine that has kind of, blown up through me in the last, 15 years or so. It's really this evolution of our feminine soul, of our dimension of our soul that we have been disconnected from in our patriarchal, in our patriarchal culture that we're in. Because it hasn't always been this way. In the last, like we said, in the last 5,000 years, we've been in a patriarchal culture. But before that, the feminine was it was in our consciousness, because it's not like it's not here. It's here, right? But we're disconnected in our consciousness. We don't see ourselves as part of the whole. We don't see, nature as sacred. We don't see our bodies as sacred. We don't see ourselves as part of that web. We're kind of, what do I want to say? We're kind of really indoctrinated to only value the physical qualities and the qualities of the unseen, the qualities of our feelings, of the unseen emotions, on the unseen dimension, which we may relate to as the spiritual, and even in our body, which we're going to talk a little bit more about that, right? How do we actually activate it right here? That has been shamed, that has been demeaned, that has been, and for thousands of years, women and men have been executed for, practicing part of nature and being in nature and connecting with the unseen forces. And so before these last 5,000 years, like I mentioned earlier, for 40, at least it's been documented, at least 40,000 years, where all of culture and society worshipped the Great Mother, where I say we because it's in our DNA, it's our ancestors, it's our ancient ancestors, and it's in our DNA. So it's right here. And that's part of the secret of really tuning in and activating, because what are we activating? We're activating our cells, the DNA, the epigenetics aspect that knows that truth, and kind of breaking through the conditioning that we've been under in the last 5,000 years. But so they have found figurines, which is how we know this. How do we know that there was a, feminine worshiping, matriarchal, egalitarian society where there was no war, where there was peace, and where everyone, mostly everyone, worshipped a source that was sacred, but that was also living here within us. So we weren't separate from it, right? This whole separation of the divine up there and us down here came in, through that mark of that 5,000 years, more or less. It was a process, right? It was a process of thousands of years, of around 3,000 years or so. But these figurines that were found all throughout, and actually I'd like to share just to get a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about. Marija Gimbutas was a pioneer in this field of archaeology. Let me see if I can actually share my screen. And these are some of the figures, the clay figurines that were, let's see, can you see that?
Let me say, we have a lot of people on the phone. You can go to
Oh, right.
the Conscious Living Facebook group if you want
Yeah.
to see what she's sharing. Otherwise, if you can,
I'm so sorry.
subscribe,
Yeah.
keep it
I
on,
will. Yeah.
on Facebook,
And
the Community for Conscious Living Facebook group. We're live streaming there.
okay. Right. Thank you for that reminder. But these are all different figurines, clay figurines, and thousands of them that have been found, that have been unearthed, and they date back. I mean, it's pretty amazing. They date back 35,000 years, and they all have been calling them the Venus of, different places throughout Europe, throughout the world. 35,000 years. Here we have one for 28,000 years, and they all show the body of the feminine, but in a very voluptuous and it's like it's giving life, and it's birthing, so it's very voluptuous is that's the word that I can think of, and it dates back and these were in places all over the world that didn't really necessarily communicate, because we're talking, thousands and thousands of years ago, after the last ice age, right after the last ice age. So, so we know, and there's been other ways of determining that we were in this consciousness before, and that really what we're experiencing now has only been a glip, like a little tiny time of a few thousand years. And to us, of course, we've been immersed in it, and it's all we know, in this survival, and I like to say the distorted masculine, because it's really not the pure essence of the masculine, which is needed and beautiful, and a very integral part of our doing. But in this patriarchal culture that we're all in, all of these feminine qualities, which I'll get into a little bit more, have been, like I said, shamed, and we have been executed for it. And so we've turned into this, the loss of the sacredness. We don't see the earth, we don't see nature, we don't see even ourselves as sacred. And I know, of course, here in this community, that's all changing, which is beautiful. But we also are, in this consciousness of doing, and of really looking for our value and our fulfillment from something outside of ourselves. And that's the culture, and it's like going on and on and on outside of ourselves, and doing more and accomplishing more. And honestly, without the feminine to really be able to actually, it's like if we see it as the great mother, to really be able to go and to relax into, to really be able to go into and just, rest and be held, and be nourished. It's like letting our souls rest, and then also our souls rest in this cosmic womb of the Great Mother, and being able to then receive the wisdom, receive the essence, receive the impulse. And the season that we're in right now, I know this is going to be on, your channel, but in winter, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in winter, and the winter is all about that time of going within, that time of connecting. It's the most yin time of connecting with the feminine, of letting go, of hibernating. That's why some animals in nature are hibernating at this time. It's that connection with the feminine. All of nature, most of nature, is dying. right? And so it's very integral to the feminine process, this cycle of death and rebirth and regeneration. And we see it in nature, and it's really part of us. Our cells are doing it, our organs are doing it, it's really part of the cycle. And being disconnected from these cycles is part of, why we're in this crisis to begin with, because we're disconnected in our consciousness, even though it's happening, but our consciousness is very powerful. And as human beings, we have free will, we have free will. And so we, get to choose in a way. I mean, we're also programmed, and there's also conditioning, but ultimately it's a choice, because we have the awareness to really evolve and grow and look at what we're thinking, look at how we're acting, and then start to shift that. And so if we're thinking, because we've been conditioned in this survival patriarchal culture that we've been in, indoctrinated into, if we're thinking that there is no sacredness, that our happiness comes from something outside of us, and we're disconnected from the essence of the divine that is that mothering, birthing, great mother source, then we're going to act that way. Then our actions, our words, and we're going to do what we're seeing. We're going to destroy the earth. We're not going to have regard for ourselves. We're going to not have regard for others as well. And human life and animal life, and all of it, all of creation. So to wrap up, because I really want to get into the process and the experience of it all, of activating what we're going to be doing today, but this feminine, I really wanted to really get a sense of this feminine consciousness and how it's really the return. And we all know it. We all have it deep within us. So it's not so much about accomplishing a state of mind. It's really about kind of clearing the conditioning, clearing what's in the way, the thought forms, the beliefs, the trauma that we've been through. And that's all rooted in this separation. Right? I mean, if we had to think of it in some way, it's this separation from our essence, from this mothering, compassionate, and from the love. Essentially, it's the love, right? It's the love, the source of love that is within us. It's our divine dimension. And I call that the feminine, and many call that the feminine. We call our soul the feminine. And because it's kind of like that inward yin energy, and it's also, we're also held in the greater feminine, which I call the great mother source essence. And so when we're connecting with our soul, our essence, and going into these levels, these subtle levels and these dimensions, we're also connecting with the oneness, with source, because it's actually living right here. It's living within us. It's living in every single aspect of creation. So everything is holy, right? And we have demeaned it either not holy or not sacred or not important enough, etc. So it's so our consciousness is where the healing is, and it's our consciousness that will actually save ourselves and save our planet. If that's still on the table, it's hard to know. I'm rooting for the yes team. And regardless, it's part of our evolution. Yeah, it's part of our evolution here on the planet. Yeah, I'm gonna pause there and just take a second and see if you wanted to add anything to that. I know that I could feel you might want to add something to that, Deborah.
Yeah, well, thank you. Let's see, is there anything I want to add? I think, you know, let me just, one thing I usually do at the beginning, which I got excited about hearing what you had to say, is one thing I do
Yeah.
is call us all into our circle and
Yeah.
just invite all of the hearts to come together, sitting together in our circle. I know that Dr. Lenore is about to lead us on a beautiful process, so let's go ahead and come together and just face everything toward the center. We join in a circle together and bring all of our energy, all of our focus, all of our attention to be in this space together. And again, we call on our source, the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on that essence of pure divine light, on the unconditional love and the eternal compassion, which is that womb of compassion that contains the entirety of our existence, that holds us in safety, in connection, in complete and total acceptance and love, patience, everything else, everything that we need contained within this beautiful womb. And so let's just breathe with that and rest in that and prepare ourselves for a beautiful journey. And I really appreciate everything that you are sharing so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's perfect. I'd actually like to follow up with a invocation to the Great Mother, which I was just about to do. So, and I also start, usually with a prayer to just set sacred space, but we got excited, which is what happens always when I speak of this.
Yeah, so did
Again,
I, so.
yeah, right. I mean, to me, it's really, it lights me up to really be able to share these truths. I think I personally, went through, explored a lot of different, spiritualities and, all with this, like a seeker, trying to find, and I think you mentioned some of that earlier, and I have a background in psychology and in Chinese medicine and alternative medicine, and really trying to find discover these secrets, like what are we doing here. I saw a lot of people around me, including my mother, my aunts, and people that raised me. They weren't happy. They weren't really happy. They were in a lot of like stress and fear and what we would call trauma today, and I said, well, life cannot, like, this isn't, like, I don't get it. Like, life cannot be about, like going through life and all of this kind of stress and not, where's the happiness, where's the joy, where's the love? And so that's been really my search. I did have a near-death experience at the age of 6 that really kind of, it planted a seed within me that consciously I didn't actually connect with until I was 42, which all of those memories started coming up of what actually happened in that near-death experience. But what I realized is that seed that was planted was leading me all the way to, it's almost like, okay, try a little bit of this and try, that's not quite the right vibration. It's kind of like, this doesn't feel like there's something else. It was leading me kind of behind the scenes. And and so that's what's gotten me here. So I'm very passionate because I want to share this with everyone, because it's been such a big deal for me, for my physical healing, for my emotional healing, for the healing of trauma, the healing of my ancestors, and all of the women before me that have, died, and trying to bring some of this true and staying true to our, deepest truth of the feminine. And so to me, it's very dear to my heart. So I get very excited because it works, and because it's really how we can reach our deepest fulfillment, at least one of the ways, which I think is really the answer of what we're needing on the planet. So with that, saying all of that, I'd like to share just this prayer, this invocation, for those that can see it. If you want to look at it, read it, I'm going to read it out loud for everyone. It's an invocation that came through about 13 years ago, and it's really my go-to prayer for the Great Mother. Dear Mother, I bow my head, heart, and womb to you, for you are the creatrix and the creation. From your womb the 10,000 things are born. I ask that you bring me close, awaken me, and keep me in your flow of divine grace. Hold me in your ecstatic presence where all veils are dissolved, leaving only your whispering truth as my teacher. Let me drink from your cup of mercy and merge with you into the annihilation of my being, forever and ever. Dear Mother. And so just feeling into that. And just really connecting with your body, connecting with the space you're in, connecting with the fact that your body is a holy temple, a vessel for the essence of love, and that you are love, that you are the medicine, and in your soul, the feminine soul, we carry all these qualities. That's actually the medicine that we're needing and the medicine that's needed on the planet. And as each and every one of us activates these levels of consciousness within us, we are then seeing that, we are then anchoring that on the planet just by being who we are. Whether we're actively, engaging others, teaching others or not, it becomes our frequency, becomes our transmission on the planet. Yeah, so just taking a deep breath there. Beautiful. And one of the things to the feminine that has been lost, that's coming back online in a big way, is sound, our voice, the sacred drum. Our voice, we've really lost the voice of the feminine, no pun intended, and so activating our own voice, using our own voice, because we are the instrument, the ultimate instrument. Everything in our bodies is humming, everything on the planet is actually singing and humming and vibrating. And that is also how manifestation, through vibration, manifestation becomes denser and denser and denser until we see what we see. So sound, and the sound of our voice is really the strongest tool, I'm going to call it a tool, that we have innately, inherently, for transformation, for shifting into different levels of consciousness. That's why our voice and chanting has been used in every single spiritual practice, whether it's just, speaking, prayers, chanting, songs, in all different forms. Sound is usually part of the spiritual practice, and it's for a good reason. So we're going to be using sound and voice today. And I'm going to do what I call a medicine song and an invocation, which I'm going to use my drum, my sacred drum here, my frame drum. And then I'm going to actually invite each person, and I will guide you through to go through our different, each of our portals of the chakras, the gateways, and activate it with a particular sound. And I really invite you to really kind of like allow yourself, be in a space where you don't feel, you know, intimidated by others, and just really allow yourself to just connect and sound. And with your own sound and vibration, each of these regions will be they will be activated. And then this activation, what we're doing is we're shifting into our inherent flow of light, into our essence, into that light of our being, into that frequency that I said earlier. It's already there. We're just kind of like vibrating out the interference, right? We're vibrating out the interference, which comes in forms of conditioning, trauma, beliefs, conscious or unconscious. We may not even know that those beliefs are there. And sounding, well, it kind of like, it's like it penetrates right through, activates that root, that essence, and then it starts to allow it to expand. That's what activation means. And when we do it in certain, you know, with our focus, so our intention is allowing us, remember I said that our consciousness is really important, so our awareness, where we put our mind is really key. To use our mind, to use our thoughts in a way to actually support what we want to manifest, what we want to create, what we want to grow. And so by actually just thinking where we are and visualizing that place, we start to actually bring our consciousness there and start to awaken that innate light that is in all of us. And each portal has a different correlation to our organs, to our glands, to our cells, to our emotional body, to our mental body. And I'll touch on a little bit of that. I don't want to get lost in too much of the conceptual. I want more of this to be an experience. But just know that you are actually activating that. You're activating your blueprint of your soul, of these very deep, subtle dimensions within yourself, which then regulates everything else, our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, rooted in, again, our spiritual body. So let me see if it would be helpful. I'm actually going to share one more thing, and then I'm going to leave that up there because it might be helpful for the sounds, for those that are able to see. I will guide everybody through it, but okay. I can't see that, so let me redo it. My screen went blank. I'm not sure why. Let's try this one. Okay, great. Now now I know that you're seeing it. Okay, is that good, Deborah?
Yes, and again, just remember to read it,
yes,
and describe it for the people on the
exactly.
phone.
Absolutely. So this is just a little bit of a of the chart of our feminine soul and the different embodiments, different dimensions, They're also portals. And we're used to probably seeing the chakras going up and down. I've created it in a circle because, the cycles is all of the feminine is all about cycles within cycles. So just to start us thinking this way a little bit. So the root, so each one is going to have a sound. And if you are looking at this, we're going to be actually doing the sound as we do this process. And it's right here. So the ooh for the root, the O, and we're going to do different tones. The O is here, and the sounds. So each one is going to have a sound. The heart is the ah, and I'm going to walk you through all of this. You don't have to look at anything. I just, some people like a visual. I'm visual and auditory, but I love visuals, very visual. So just if you want to look at it or even, have it as reference. But I'd like you to actually just go within and feel, right? It's like start to, wherever you are in relationship to your feeling body, it's like, let's take it to the next level. Let's awaken that. And like, one of the most important things about activating this realm of the feminine within us, of our soul, is to listen. And it's like going deeper and deeper and deeper with our sense of listening. And of course, some of us are more visual than others, and some of us are more auditory and also somatic. We can sense, physically in our body. So it's like turning all that on and starting to perceive all of this world that's living within us and outside of us, the unseen. And call it the inner world, but it's really everywhere. It's everywhere, inside and outside. Today we're gonna activate it through our inner. All right, so let yourself feel, just get really comfortable. If you have your feet on the floor, if not, it's fine. Just feeling your sitting bones, connecting deeply to the earth. And just feeling either from your, root chakra or your sitting bones or your perineum or the bottom of your feet, whatever is touching the surface that you're sitting on. Let that energy go all the way down into the center of the earth, receiving the yin energies from the earth. And also knowing that the earth is receiving the source and light from Great Mother. So we're all surrounded in this big womb, cosmic womb. But because we're physical beings, it's really important for us to ground and to strengthen this connection with the earth, with nature, because we are nature. Okay. And so just let yourself receive the invocation and the medicine song, and then we'll go into the chanting. So just breathing. And being with the silence. And just connecting with your breath. Closing your eyes if it feels comfortable to you. And just bringing your breath all the way down into your root, which is all the way down into your sitting bones. And allowing yourself to feel your breath and to notice your breath. How does it feel as it moves all the way down into your root? And your root is that place within you that is connected with whatever you're sitting on, right? And really that point is the perineum. And you can think of sitting bones or... And just breathing deeply here. Bringing your hands, we're going to be using our hands a lot. So just bringing your hands as close to your root as possible. There's a lot of light and energy and healing energy that comes through your hands at all times. And then now with each exhale, we're going to let your body do a sound to activate this root. And the sound, they're all vowels, so this is going to be like this very earthy, the lowest tone, comfortable, and it's going to be that's one of my lowest, comfortable. So if your lowest is wherever your is, you go with that, because it's really about tuning in to what your frequency is. Okay, we're going to do that 3 times. I'll guide you to activate that root and just feel that vibration in your root as you do that. Breathe in. Exhale all that out. And breathe in. And inhale. It's okay to allow your sounds to be a little organic. And then just be in the silence now for a minute or two, focusing on that whole area. Now coming up to bringing our hands up to our sacral and allowing yourself. Your sacral is right below your belly button. It's your lower abdomen. And bringing your right hand on your lower abdomen and then your left hand over that. Now we're going to activate that with the sound of ooh. And again, whatever the next lowest sound feels right to you. Breathe in. And this is activating our water element. This is activating the ocean, mother of love. This is activating our reproductive system. And inhale. Activating our creatrix energy in the feminine. Inhale one more time. Breathing in. I'm going to do that one more time. I feel a lot of energy is kind of shifting here. And then just noticing. And then we're going to bring our hands into our solar plexus. Solar plexus is between our belly buttons and our heart. So right, that center point of our torso. Bringing your right hand to that solar plexus and your left hand above that, right on that. And this is the O sound. And this is the fire element. This is the dragon mother. This is the seat of our power, sacred power, divine power, power in our consciousness. Letting us connect to this sacred power. Breathing into our solar. And here we go. Now we're going to bring our hands to our heart, center of our heart, center of our chest. This is our heart gateway. This is the cosmic womb of the mother. This is the air element. This is the love. This is activating the love. Activating the love. And the sound is ah. And whatever tone feels comfortable for you, we're going a little bit higher each time. But just trust breathing into our heart. Letting yourself travel with the sound, letting the sound penetrate you. And this is also activating our thymus gland. It regulates our ability to connect with others, relationship, intimacy, and with other aspects of ourselves, divine. And then we're going to go into our throat, and our throat gateway is, we can put our hands on the sides of our throat. If we want to, we can put our hands in the front of our throat. The thyroid, the parathyroid glands. Our throat is the moon mother, the dark moon mother. It's our wild, feminine. It's our ability to express, authentically express ourselves in alignment with truth, with our medicine, anchored in the feminine, in our soul. And the sound is I. So inhaling into our throat. Inhale. Sitting in silence. And then bringing our hands and on our eyes, we're going to activate our third eye. So if we put our hands on our eyes and then cross over the pinky, our pinkies, cross it over the third eye, to connect to the third eye. And this way we're also kind of blocking the light from coming in, so we're able to deeply, deeply connect with our inner vision, or vision into the inner realms, our seer, the mystery. And we're able to activate the pineal gland this way, and activate our neural pathways as well, the aspect, the DNA that's in our being, that we know the truth that's here, dormant in our DNA. And the sound is A. The sound is A. And so now we want to go to the higher levels of our tones. Again, whatever is comfortable, and you can play around with it. See what organically comes through. The A. Inhale. Letting our hands rest. I'm just noticing. And then we want to bring our hands to our crown chakra. And you can put your fingertips on your crown. You can put the palms of your hand on your crown. Whatever feels good to you. You choose. And this is the E. In our crown, we're activating the whole portal that connects with our hypothalamus and our pineal and pituitary, all of it. Our neural pathways being activated and being remembered, because this is already within you. And so deep breath, and the sound is E, which you already did in the A, E. So let's focus on E. Inhale. E. And just notice. Now we're going to do a little bit of integration and just do this lightly. We're going to do we're going to kind of sound the siren down. So it's like, might need to take a breath. And we're going to go do that up. So just follow me. And then we're going to go one more time down. And just take breaths wherever you feel you need. And just feel. Just feel your feet, feel your connection to the earth, and feel all that energy coming in through the earth now. Breathing that in. And then letting yourself receive that. And if you're visual, you might actually see that as golden light coming in from the earth. Maybe there's a different color for you. So trust your wisdom. Trust your knowing, direct knowing. And then breathe in from the crown of your head. Breathe in the light from the cosmos, from the moon, from the Great Mother directly from Source. Just breathing that in. And you might see that as white light. There might be other fusions of colors with that. And feel that in every single every single cell of your body, every single cell is being activated by these frequencies. And now take a minute to actually, as you continue to feel and expand in this essence of your being, let yourself set an intention for your day, for your week, for your month, for the year. Just in the form of a prayer, in the form of asking the divine Great Mother Source what you're needing. And let it come from your heart, from your soul. And asking to allow you to open up, to be able to receive that fully in your life. To clear the veils, clear the interference, clear the conditioning, clear the thought patterns that have prevented you from receiving that in your life up to this moment. And just let yourself feel that as it's already been given, it's already here, it's already an of your divine blueprint. And what we're doing is we're just activating that reality. We're activating that reality for you. Or you're activating that reality for you. And the divine is activating that reality for you. And so feel, how would that feel to actually have that in this moment in your life? How does that feel? It's already here. It's already programmed into who you are. And letting that move through your whole body, every single aspect of your being. Your thoughts, your emotional body, your mental body, and your physical body. Letting your nervous system regulate to that reality, letting the neural pathways strengthen into that reality. Kind of being lit up in your brain because you remember that that is part of your truth, it's part of who you are. And it's part of your expression on the planet. Beautiful. And so, for time's sake, we're going to kind of gather ourselves and bow in gratitude for all that we've received, for our willingness from ourselves, for our trust, for our courage, and to our guides, and to the Great Mother Source Divine for allowing us this time together, for allowing us this awakening and all of the ways that we've received it, whether we're aware of it or not. Sometimes it'll keep opening. It's the gift that keeps giving. And you might notice things in your dreams tonight. You might notice a different level of calm or peace, etc. So very gently, I would invite you to open your eyes, and I want you to actually try to open your eyes even as you are, and especially as you're still feeling those frequencies, as you're still in that mystical world, in that inner dimension. Open your eyes and really just look at the room around you, anything, so that you can start to bridge or continue to bridge, right? Deepen the inner and the outer, the seen and the unseen, your soul and your, shall we say, ego in a good way. That aspect of us that, is out there in the world, our person, our humanity. Yeah. And invite us into conversation. So, Deborah?
Thank you, Lenore. That was absolutely beautiful. I feel transformed in a beautiful way. Oh, I needed that alignment, and I can certainly see coming back to this recording to do that, especially for me, the sounding,
Yeah.
the tuning of the chakras, and that was exquisite, divine. So I can also see, like doing this, as you said, like from eyes closed, coming into eyes open and maintaining it.
Right.
I can see like doing it with with sensory deprivation, just like really shutting everything off and going
Yes.
in and then bringing it out. And
Yeah.
just doing that as a practice as well feels really exquisite. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for this today.
I was going to say that that a lot of times in our classes, I actually have people bring, the blindfolds and something to cover their eyes, because it deepens that process so much more. So I would highly recommend that. Sensory deprivation, absolutely,
Yeah.
especially with the eyes, because the light takes us away from those deeper, darker places of the womb, and it's not darker in a negative sense, as you know. I know you know this, but I want to
Right.
clarify it for others. It's that dark, of winter, of yin, of essence, of it's like the night sky, right? And the night sky that gives birth to the light, to the planets, to the stars. That's the darkness that is the mother that we want to come into union with. And so it's really profound when we do that with cover our eyes.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah. Thank you.
I'll have the links to how you can connect with Dr. Leonor in the notes. Her website is do you prefer thefemininepath.com? I know it has hyphens, the-feminine-path.com.
Exactly.
You can find information about her there, and I know you've got a program coming up too, right? That you're
Yes, we have the Feminine Medicine Woman Practitioner course. It's a 13-month course for women that are interested in actually reclaiming the feminine voice for themselves and the mysteries, and step into their healing, not just themselves, but others one-on-one, and also groups, facilitating groups with sound, with their voice, with the feminine mysteries. So we go into all of it. Yeah.
Nice.
It's our signature program. It's a practitioner course. Yeah, and that's starting soon. So people, if they're interested, they can reach out. Yeah, I'll give you those links. And they're on the website. Yeah, and they're on the website. The first page, you'll see that there for those that are interested. Yeah.
okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'll go ahead and we can open for a little bit of Q&A today. So if you're on the phone, press star 2. If you're on the webcast, type in. If you're on Facebook, there's a link there where you can join us live and join us for some discussion. In the recording for the discussion, so the discussion's not recorded, not going out on Facebook or on the webcast. For those who are listening to the recording, let me put this piece on. You're invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com. communityforconsciousliving.com. When you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and the replays. And when you do, you receive 2 free gifts. One is a one sheet that is just a simple list of the 10 spiritual principles of our human existence to remind us of the truth of why we're here, what this world is about, what's going on here, to help us to keep things in perspective. You also receive a 15-ish minute downloadable guided meditation that I hope you'll use as a part of your daily practice to help you to connect with the pure divine light, the unconditional love, and that eternal compassion that holds you in this eternal womb of compassion. That is the truth of who you are, to really help you to connect in deeply with that beautiful essence of yourself. All right, and with that, I will end the recording now, and we'll open for the Q&A.